So I've been having a lot of fun going through the team history videos in the Ontario Hockey League. I know these videos don't get as many views as some of the other videos I posted here on the channel, but it is fun just to go through all the team histories, see how the team has gotten to where they are today, and even just to find out some other little tidbits of information like top players and whatnot. So today's focus is going to be the Steelheads, last season known as the Mississauga Steelheads, and starting in September, they'll be playing as the Brampton Steelheads. So it's a fascinating organization. The Steelheads name came about in 2012. Before that, they were the Mississauga St. Mike's Majors from 2007 to 2012. And they started off as the Toronto St. Mike's Majors from 1996 to 2007. Now, OHL hockey in the city of Mississauga could probably be its own video because it's had so many twists and turns. The first expansion team into Mississauga was in 1998 as the Mississauga Ice Dogs. Of course, Don Cherry was a part of that ownership group. He even was head coach for a bit while also still doing Coach's Corner when he was on Hockey Night in Canada. But, the team had its struggles at the gate. Attendance, also a problem. But eventually, of course, they'd play for a championship in 2004. But Eugene Melnick, who owned the Majors in Toronto, wanted his team to play in a bigger facility because St. Mike's College could only fit 1,600. So he ended up buying the Ice Dogs in 2006 and then found a new owner in the Berks in St. Catharines. So they moved the Ice Dogs to Niagara, and then the Majors moved into the Hershey Center in Mississauga. And despite moving into a bigger facility, attendance was still a problem for the Majors. They would host the Memorial Cup in 2011. And the Owen Sound Attack, of course, they won the OHL championship that year. And it kind of felt like Owen Sound was playing in two home arenas during that OHL final and would eventually become OHL champions that year. But still, Eugene Melnick was able to host the Memorial Cup at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. And then after, sold the team to Elliot Kerr, who then decided to rename the team the Steelheads and give the St. Mike's Majors name back to St. Michael's College. And that's where we stand right now. It's been, like I said, so many twists and turns with hockey in the city of Mississauga. Attendance has always been the big question mark with any organization playing in Mississauga. Also in Brampton, they've had similar situations, but we'll leave that for another video. But for this team, even though they've had the attendance issues, they have had competitive teams over the years, especially the Steelheads. They had that one OHL championship appearance against the Erie Otters, and they've had some really good players come through this organization. So let's get right into it. Starting off with the top scorers in the Steelheads franchise history. There's also some crossover with the majors because some of those major players then also played for the Steelheads. So it's kind of a blend of players who've played mostly with the Steelheads, but have some ties with the majors. But starting things off is James Hardy. He leads the franchise in scoring 128 goals, 116 assists, good for 244 points. James Hardy, whenever I think of the Mississauga Steelheads, that's a player that comes to mind. Calling the Barrie Colt games, we would see Mississauga quite a bit. And James Hardy, he had the knack for taking over games. He's also an Innisfil, Ontario native, so coming to Barrie is like playing in his hometown, but still, James Hardy leading the franchise and scoring with 244 points. In second is Riley Brace, 89 goals, 145 assists, 234 points. Michael McLeod, third in franchise scoring, 76 goals, 131 assists, 207 points. And then Owen Tippett, he's fourth, 114 goals, 89 assists, 203 points. Now, here's a player who played for the majors. It's Casey Cizikas. He had 88 goals, 115 points, 203 points, tied with Owen Tippett. Sixth is Jordan Mayer, 89 goals, 91 assists, 180 points. Ryan McLeod, he's seventh in franchise scoring, 54 goals, 116 assists, and 170 points. Then you have Josh Burnside. He's eighth overall in scoring, 53 goals, 101 points, 101 assists, 154 points. Devontae Smith-Pelly, he played for the majors, 78 goals, 75 assists, 153 points during his time. And then wrapping up the top 10, a current member of Mississauga Steelheads or Brampton Steelheads, it's Luke Misa, right now sitting at 43 goals, 107 assists, 150 points. So Luke Misa in the upcoming season, he could be climbing quite a bit. He might even reach possibly the top 6 by the end of next season. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's also Porter Martone. He could make the top 10 by the end of next season. So being that the Steelheads are a younger franchise in the Ontario Hockey League, you're going to see more players able to crack the top 10 when it comes to franchise scoring. But this is where it stands at the time of recording here in the summer of 2024. Now, shifting focus to goaltenders, top 5 goalies for wins, J.P. Anderson. He leads the way, 88 wins to his credit. He played for the Mississauga Majors. And then Chris Carozzi, he's second with 71 wins. Jacob Ingham, he had 60 wins during his time with Mississauga. Spencer Martin, fourth with 58 wins. And then current goaltender Ryerson Leenders, 36 wins so far as a member of the Steelheads. So Leenders, this is a team that should be good next season. So expect Leenders potentially maybe top 3 in franchise wins by the end of next season. Time will tell. Right now, there are no retired numbers for the Steelheads. When they were the Majors, they had some honored numbers because they were looking back to their time almost 100 years ago. So that I'm not going to carry over into this video. So right now, no retired or honored numbers with the Steelheads. It'll be interesting to see who the first player they're going to honor with putting their number in the rafters. But right now, we'll have to wait and see. I'm wondering if it'll be a player like Owen Tippett. He's right now playing in the National Hockey League, having a solid career. Maybe he'll have his number put up there. James Hardy, of course, now the leading scorer in franchise history. Does he get his number up? Time will tell, but still, young franchise, so give it some time. They do have 16 players who have moved on to play in the National Hockey League so far. That number, of course, will grow with the young talent that's up and coming with this team. And now looking at their playoffs, typically I go back to 2000, but I only want to focus on their time as the Steelheads. In 2013, their first playoff run as Mississauga Steelheads lost in the first round to the Belleville Bulls. That was in 6 games. 2014, another first round exit. That was to the Oshawa Generals in 4 games. 2015, they missed the playoffs, but then returned to the postseason in 2016 with a first round exit against the Barrie Colts. That was in 7 games. But then 2017, they win the Central Division title and go all the way to the Ontario Hockey League Championship, where they lose to the Erie Otters in 5 games. It was a bit of a tough break because that Mississauga team looking very good in that run. But Erie, with the firepower they had, they were able to shut down the Mississauga Steelheads. The Steelheads, though, in 2018, another first-round exit against Barrie, this time in 6 games. They lost in the first round in 2019 to the Sudbury Wolves in 4 games. 2022, they made it to the second round, but were swept by the Hamilton Bulldogs in 4. 2023, a first-round exit against the North Bay Battalion in 6 games. And then this past season, knocked out again in the first round by the Sudbury Wolves, this time in 5 games. But it is fascinating. Since 2013, they've only made it out of the first round twice. So that would be their championship run in 2017 and the second round appearance in 2022. So this team, they've had the talent, but not able to go on deep runs. I think this season might be a little different, but we'll have to wait and see. But still, the Steelheads, they're going to be competitive for the next couple of seasons. I was wondering if this past season they could have gone on a bit of a deeper run, maybe if they had a different opponent in the first round. But, this is going to be a fascinating team to follow. Of course, attendance is going to continue to linger as a topic when it comes to the Steelheads organization. How is this move going to impact that? Do they see a boost in fans going to Brampton? Does it stay the same, or will there be a decrease? Well, time will tell, and we'll see what kind of impact that has on them, because last season they averaged 2,431 fans. The next highest team last season was Owen Sound. They had an average of 2,722, but you have to figure the Owen Sound Attack do play in a smaller facility at the Bayshore. But I don't know. I would like to see the Steelheads have success in Peel region, but maybe it comes down to the fans just need to get used to a team name, a brand, because let's face it, if you're changing names every so often, it's hard for fans to become familiar. I know there's a lot of different entertainment options. That's been another argument. Is it demographics? I know that's been an argument. So it's tough to say, but you want to see hockey succeed wherever they may be. And if Brampton's the answer, well, hopefully they'll see an attendance boost coming up in September. But that's how I see it from the booth. This is the history video of the Steelheads. Let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts on the organization, maybe your favorite memory of this team. And yeah, it's always great to see people interacting with the videos as this channel continues to grow. So thank you very much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon.